In this fantasy episode of the Sonny and Share pod, we go through Gameweek 29 top goal scorers briefly, and then look ahead to Gameweek 30 when we talk about essential picks this week ahead of fixtures and form. Hello and welcome to the Sonny and Share pod, little fantasy at midweek. Me and Butler, how you doing, pal?
Yeah, good, mate. It feels like we haven't had football on for ages because I don't watch the FA Cup because it's I just have no interest in it.
Yeah.
And then I didn't even realise the Champions League was on right now. Just shows where my interest in football has gone. All I know is Wimbledon won on the weekend, which is great.
I saw
'cause now
Matey's
we're like,
outrageous backheel assist.
yeah, I don't know how much he meant it. I think he just backheeled it and hoped that someone would get on the end of it, and so there was lucky
Tried to
someone
keep it
did.
in, didn't he, sort of thing.
Yeah, and then so that's good. So we're about 10 points from safety now, which is probably pretty safe given it's unlikely they're going to make up that many points below you.
Surely not.
So yeah, all good. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate, actually. Good. Nice to actually have a little week off for fantasy. Yeah, like you said, FA Cup's a bit dry now, actually. There's not actually many games in it. But just talking about Champions League tonight, we were just talking about a minute ago. Spurs were a 4-1 down. They were 4-0 down in about 25 minutes. And this Tudor bloke replaced Vicario with Kinski. And apparently he was at fault for the first two goals, so he ripped him off after 17 minutes. That's career
what is
ended,
going on?
I'd say. Oh, it's disgrace, isn't it?
Mate, how has this guy got a job?
I don't have a clue, mate.
Surely there's better caretaker managers out there than this guy. I think his records. Well, I mean, we won't get. We could probably talk more of it on the Friday episode.
Yeah, we will. We'll save it for Friday. Yeah, there's so much to unpack.
God, he might get sacked. He might get sacked. He's only done 4 games, isn't he?
Yeah. This is his 4th, I think. Yeah, it's crazy.
I think they're even worse than they were under Thomas Frank.
Oh, madness! But back to fantasy. Obviously, Game Week 29 was almost a week ago now. We had a midweek 29, which was Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday last week. Just looking at the top scorers from that, obviously we had João Pedro with his hat-trick and assist for his 19-point haul against Villa. Then we had Ismail Assar, who I delightfully took out of my team for his little brace and 15 points. Tarkowski with a goal and clean sheets against Burnley at home for 15 points. Jurrien Timber had another great day. I think he got an assist, clean sheet, DEFCON, and bonus points. And then we had Elliot Anderson. We'll talk about him later on, but 12 points against City. Yeah, worldy goal. DEFCON again. Like, the bloke is on absolute flames at the moment. 5.5 million. He's got 131 points already this year, which is insane for someone with that price. And I'll go into it later on, a few more of his stats, but we'll finish there, I think. There's not really many more to talk about. Obviously, we had Andre Gomez, got 12 points against Liverpool. I saw some bloke captained him or triple captained him or did something stupid.
No, they didn't.
Genuinely. Some bloke triple captained him, and this was
against
his form.
Liverpool.
This was his form before the 12 pointers. So he had
pure cheating going on, isn't it?
Yeah, he went 5-3-2-0-0-3-1-2-1. I don't even want to continue. Do you know what I mean? It's madness, isn't it?
Someone triple captained him.
No, that's how it works. That's how fantasy
like
works.
Insider trading going on or something, isn't
there?
Mate,
yeah. It's like that one. Do you remember when I did that? I said about that at Christmas. That bloke got deleted for having half the Burnley. I reckon
there's quite a few people getting deleted right now.
Oh, but like we said, the star of the show was João Pedro. Did you have him, or did you take him out, or had you had him?
No, so I had him.
Yeah.
And then I took him out the week before for Ekitike when Ekitike went wild against West Ham.
Yeah.
Which at the time was a smart move because it worked. Because because João Pedro blanked against Arsenal, didn't he? So
yeah.
it was a smart move. In terms of head-to-head, I would have got him back in, but I knew Dassie didn't have him. So I thought, well, I'll just take the
Yeah,
risk of not bringing him back in, and strengthened elsewhere. But which again, I brought Van Dijk in for the fixture run for Chalobah, so it put me in probably a stronger position for if
yeah, yeah. You won your game,
I
didn't you, as well?
yeah, I don't understand Liverpool, to be honest.
No,
I don't get them. They've lost again
no,
tonight as
mate.
well. I don't get
Yeah,
it.
we'll,
Oh
we'll but we'll
god.
start what we're going to talk about tonight with Liverpool, but we're just going to go through essential players for game week 30 based both on form and fixtures. We'll start with Liverpool. So I've just highlighted the fixture. I'll go through a few bits, a few stats, and then I will get your opinion, mate. But Liverpool versus Spurs. So Spurs have only 2 points from their last 5 away fixtures, only scoring 4 goals across those games and conceding 9. Spurs haven't won a single Prem game this year, which is
It's
a
mad,
horrible
that
stat.
stat. I think
Mad stat.
they're the only team in the top 4 divisions not to win a game in
I think it
2026.
is something like that. I was looking for it. I saw it was that, or it was Europe, but I think it's that. I think you're spot on, and it's the top 4 divisions.
It's mad
Oh, and
that.
they were 4-0 down in 25 minutes tonight away from home. So, like, lads, and then Liverpool's home form is slightly indifferent recently, with 2 wins and a loss from their last 3. However, the stat that stands out the most is that they've scored 10 goals across those 3 games. So I've just picked out 2 players that I think are essential this
I can
week.
probably
Obviously,
guess
there's a
who these
few,
2 players are 'cause you
yeah,
name them all the time. When it
name them
comes
all
to
the
Liverpool,
time.
it's either gonna be Van der Vaart and Szoboszlai or Van Dijk and Ekitike.
Yeah. So starting with Van Dijk, like, has to be essential. I know he blanked last game, but 6.2 mil, now 33% owned. 3 attacking
Really?
returns in his last 4 games, 2 goals and an assist, 2 clean sheets against Forest and Sunderland. Reached the DEFCON threshold once, and he's actually this season had 22 shots with 10 of those on target, which was quite an interesting stat. But
Jesus.
thoughts on Van Dijk, mate? Essential, would you say? This is what we're looking at now. Essential?
Yeah, against Spurs, I'd say yeah, because Spurs are dreadful, aren't they? But Liverpool have got all right fixtures after that, haven't they, as well, right?
Yeah.
I would say he's probably one of those if we're going along the lines of stick, keep, or if it's like I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
if you've got him, you're keeping him. If you haven't got him, I don't know. You depends who else you've got in your defence. Really, I mean, thinking of some people in our league's teams, I'm sure Dassie would probably need him in his team. Um, but yeah, I think so. I think given that Liverpool's fixtures and how much Van Dijk's been involved recently, I would say so. But it concerns me slightly that they were bad. They lost 1-0 tonight.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, as we just said, looking at Spurs, who are 4-0
Oh,
down.
stop. That's the thing. I think Spurs, like, to be fair, Spurs away form isn't
God,
actually
I
that
hope
bad this
Kingsky's
year.
in goal on the weekend.
Oh, Kingsky. It's insane. But that's why I picked Liverpool because of that fixture. The other player obviously is Ekatike. So
Yeah.
9.1 mil. Again, similar ownership, 34%. 3 goals, 2 assists in his last 3 home games, including that 15-point haul against West Ham in game week 28. So he's got a non-penalty XG, which is expected goals of 9.4. So he's currently outperforming his XG by almost 2, having scored 11 goals this season, which is, I'm not sure about that stat, but thing is, when he's hot, he's hot. And he actually, I think, I was looking at his stats, like home goals compared to away goals. He looks like he prefers playing at Anfield a lot. And a lot of the time this season, a bit like Thiago, when he scores more than one. So I think
Mm.
that is the massive thing with these strikers, a bit like João Pedro at the moment, who we'll get onto. We're looking for these strikers who are going to score more than 1 goal in a game, because scoring 1 goal is what, 4
Yeah.
points. So could be
Yeah.
6 points if they don't get
Do,
bonus. If you
do
know what I
we,
mean. I know you've got Ekatike.
yeah. Do we feel the impact of Verts being injured is probably hurting hurting him a bit more in the fact that, as you say there, his XG is actually lower than what he's
Yeah,
converting. So it clearly means he's not getting enough opportunity to to have those chances, right? So I'm assuming that's what XG means.
yeah, no, it is, and like you said, Verts was back tonight. But
Okay,
what's been
fine.
interesting,
Did he
which is,
start or
yeah, he
was he
did
on?
start.
Okay,
No,
so I would
he
then
started
say,
tonight.
yeah, Ekatike is probably, if Verts is back, I think he's huge for the way for Ekatike because he when Ekatike when he was in that good vein of form, he had Verts right behind him, and Verts was in good nick, wasn't he, before he got that injury? So
Yeah,
you could even take that risk if you really wanted on Verts, but I think if he's back fit, I think Ekatike is probably a must-have against Spurs because they're
yeah,
so leaky.
because it was interesting because he only had one shot against Wolves in that Friday night game, which is crazy, really. Well, to be
Wolves
fair,
have improved though, haven't they?
yeah,
I think
especially at home, yeah,
they're not the easy beaters they were in the first half of the season. They've actually had a pretty good start to this year. I mean,
yeah,
it'd be a miracle if they survive. Um, but I think
yeah,
actually it's a tougher fixture than it gets given credit for. Whereas Spurs
yeah.
right now, I think, are probably more green than Wolves. In
Absolutely. I
terms-
completely agree. That's why I picked obviously Liverpool at home, but the fixture for me, I know the boys aren't really in form. Van Dijk is in more form than Ekatike, but that's purely fixture based. But we'll get on to the next one. West Ham versus City. So City had the third best away record in the Premier League this season behind Chelsea and Arsenal. They've won 2 out of their last 3, but have only scored 5 goals in their last 5 away games. So I'll be interested to get your take on this. I only got one essential City player currently, and that is Semenyo. So he's now 8.3 million, 57% owned across the game. So since joining City in January, he's got 5 goals and 1 assist. He's definitely the most informed midfielder in the league. Second in FPL points overall behind Haaland. He's had 65 shots this season for both Bournemouth and City, 34 of those on target, and a very impressive shot conversion rate of nearly 22%. But I think he's the only City player that is essential at the moment. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. I think Semenyo's a bit. Well, he's one of those. I think at the moment in fancy, you've got three must-have players in your team, maybe four, but
Yeah,
there's definitely a three that you've got to have. One of them's Gabriel, the other one's Bruno Fernandes, and then I think Semenyo's the other one. I think you have to have those three players in your team. You're mad if you don't have one of them, because of how good, how easy they just pick up points.
yeah,
Um,
agreed.
and I think you're right. I think out of City right now, Haaland's out of a bit of form. They do leak a few goals, so Gurhi's probably not
Yeah,
keeping as many clean sheets as you would have liked. And then the rest of them kind of rotate in and out. He rested Haaland again, didn't he, on the weekend?
yeah.
Um, so we'll see with that. But yeah, I think Semenyo is a must-have against West Ham.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I literally had those two other names down, Haaland and Gay, but your points are exactly what I sort of said, especially with Gay. Like, I know the only thing with him is price is so good. So to get into that City defence at
Yeah.
5.2 million is excellent. I think that would be the only thing that draws me to him. I think, like you said, they do ship too many goals. I think since he's been there, they've only kept 3 clean sheets.
Yeah, which is a strange
So,
one for City, isn't it? Don't you think? I think
yeah, it is, and the thing with him going to City, he doesn't get hardly any DEFCON anymore, which is, I think, the last time he got DEFCON was against Liverpool in Gameweek 25, and then he got it in Spurs in 24. But apart from that, that's the only 2 times he's got it for City. Like
interesting.
Against Forest, he only had 3 DEFCON
Do you
contributions
think
in the
that's
whole
because City
game.
probably have more of the ball than Palace were
I
having, so
I would say
it's
so.
less?
I would say so. And Forest were, and I think teams, particularly at the Etihad, they're more like on the counter attack, aren't they? So they're not like barraging sort of thing. But yeah, and Haaland, yes, you have to keep him because he's 60% owned, but That's interesting. He's gone down to 61% ownership. He was at 75 a few weeks ago.
Yeah, there's
Very
more and more people
interesting.
shopping him, isn't there? There's more and
There
more.
is, like, you were
I think
talking
it's
about
because
potentially
if
shopping him, weren't you?
yeah, I think you look at his value, right? Isn't he? What's he still? 14 and a bit mil.
14.6, yeah.
Yeah, so I think you weigh up that value of is he doing enough right now to equal that value? I'd probably say no, he's not. Um,
Oh,
especially
absolutely, like,
since he's been dropped a couple of times because he's tired. Pep keeps whinging about how he is tired. So I think that's starting to put people off. And when you've got people like João Pedro who all of a sudden are in a very rich vein of form,
yeah.
I think it's an easier option to kind of ditch Haaland. And I think we'll continue to. I do think he is one of those where you think you drop him at your peril.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It takes a lot of bottle, doesn't it? It takes a lot of bottle to do it. It could be one of the greatest decisions. But the only thing, what we've got on our against us with this head to head, if you're playing someone with Haaland, like, you can't, can you? You
No, you
can't.
can't. You
You
can't take
can't
that
drop.
risk. Whereas if you're playing someone who doesn't have him, then you can think about, okay, maybe I'll ditch him this week and come back to him the following week. We'll see.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Moving on to Chelsea. So Chelsea versus Newcastle. Newcastle sits 17th in the table for their away form this year,
Ooh,
just picking up 13 points across their 14 games. So they've only won 3, drawn 4, and lost 7 away from home this year, and only scored 14 goals in the process, which
wow.
was, yeah, when I read those stats, I was like, oh, because Newcastle have been in and out. They're doing quite well tonight against Barca. I think it's 0-0 currently. They were really good first half. I watched the first half, but that away form for me is horrendous, isn't it? But there's obviously only one man that stands out
Oh
in the
yeah.
Chelsea team at the moment. Like, I'm just going to go through some of his stats. They're actually insane at the moment. So he's
Oh,
7 point. So
Spurs are
Zhao
5-1 down.
Spurs, honestly, like, what is going on? That's them done. That's them done, isn't it?
Well, Bayern are
But
winning
Zhao
6
Pedro,
0 against Atalanta.
and Kane's not even playing, is he? In that,
No, he's not. No, Musiala's back though.
frightening,
Oh, that's
frightening.
frightening. Anyway,
Um,
sorry.
Yeah, no, João Pedro. We talked about him earlier, but he's 7.7 mil, 47% owned now. So he's got 76 points in his last 8 games with 8 goals and 6 assists. So he's by far the most informed forward currently in FPL, and he's showing no signs of slowing down after bagging a hat-trick against Villa in Chelsea's 4-1 win at Villa Park in Gameweek 29. So João Pedro has had the most number of shots in the Chelsea team this season at 57, with 26 of those on target, and incredibly has an impressive 25% shot conversion rate this season, meaning he's pretty much scoring 1 in 4 of his shots. João Pedro essential?
Yeah,
What do you think,
yeah.
mate?
I mean, I suppose my question is, you can't look past him right now in the form that he's in, can you? He's just scored a hat
No.
trick. I mean,
That,
how can you? I mean, I don't have him, but I'm very, very, very tempted to get back in this week. But it's a tough decision for strikers right now because a lot of them have got some decent run of games. So yeah, I think
yeah, and
he is
like we
essential.
said, like, I think this fantasy season, a lot of managers have picked players based on fixtures, which actually has fucked quite a few people. Like, getting Ekatike in when they had an unbelievable run and he did nothing. I think you have to pick players now on their form. Like, he is in ridiculous form. That's why I kept him for that midweek game. I was like, there's no point changing him because he's absolutely flying, and obviously he scored a hattie, which helps. But, like, if you watch the game, actually, the Wrexham game at the weekend, like, he came
Didn't he
on, I
come on
think,
and
with about,
score? And didn't he? Or
yeah, with
assist?
about 10 to go, and he just looked an absolute class above everyone on the pitch. Like,
Yeah, he's confident,
ridiculous,
isn't he?
really. Like, that's obviously, I mean, most of the Chelsea players are playing week in, week out in the Prem, and he still comes on and he's head and shoulders above all of them, let alone the Wrexham players. So he's just on absolute flames at the moment. I didn't realize he's only sort of 24 as well, which is frightening. It seems like he's been around for ages, doesn't it?
Yeah, he was at Watford and Brighton, wasn't he? So
Yeah.
I suppose he's been around English football a long time already.
Yeah. No, he has. But yeah, there's not much more to say about him. But if you haven't got him, I would really, really look at him, particularly with that horrendous away form that Newcastle have got. But we'll move on to Arsenal. Arsenal versus Everton. Everton's away form has been excellent on the road this season, sitting fourth in the form table with 24 points, having won 7, drawn 3 and lost 4 of their 14 games. However, Arsenal's home record is impeccable, only losing 1 of their 14 Prem games at the Emirates and winning 11 of them, scoring 33 goals in the process and only conceding 9. That is the stat I want to jump on here. 2 players. Butler's already talked about Gabriel, like 7.2 mil, 43.5% owned,
How is he
scored
only
20 points.
3.5% owned? Surely
I know.
everyone should have him.
Mad, isn't it? Madness. I saw that, and that's only gone up recently because he was only sort of 30% owned, but he's got 20
Baffles me.
points in his last 2 game weeks. Assist, clean sheet, 4 DEFCON points, having reached the threshold in both games.
Yeah, and didn't he get like 14? Actually, did 14 DEFCON contributions in his last game, which is
Yeah, I think he had
madness.
12. I think he had 12 in the first half against Brighton.
Yeah.
Which
Oh my
I think
god.
that is again, which makes him even more essential. So I've actually got some stats here. So he ranks first in blocks this season for Arsenal with 24 and first in clearances with 140. So
How
these
many
stats
games have we
alone mean
played?
that he's
20,
almost
20 up.
yeah, but he's basically guaranteed DEFCON every week as well as a clean sheet when they get it. So it's taking his 6 points up to 9 or 10 every week when they keep a clean sheet, which is actually
He's getting
amazing.
about
Like,
5 clearances a game.
yeah.
Just done the maths.
And that's the
That's
thing
more.
with these defenders, like Gay, Van Dijk's not really getting a lot of DEFCON anymore. Like, but Gabriel seems to get it almost every week. So he's just absolute madness. But he's essential, and I still think his partner right side of him, not Saliba, but Timber is still essential. I think a lot of people have gone away from Timber recently because of the blank game week in
I don't know
31, but
why. Don't know why you
he's
would.
6.3, 28.5% owned, and he scored 21 points in his last 2 game weeks with a goal and assist, clean sheet, 2 DEFCON points, having reached the threshold against Brighton. Again, Timber ranks first for tackles this season for Arsenal with 64, third in interceptions, third in blocks. He's not as good for DEFCON, but if he starts popping up with assists and goals as well as those clean sheets, like, you can't get rid of him, can you? Like, I'm thinking about getting rid of him, obviously, for the blank game week, but these 2 are flying again, aren't they?
Yeah, and yeah, I don't see why. I mean, I don't have Timber, but that's because I've got a different Arsenal double up. I've got
Yeah.
Raya and Gabriel, but I mean, it's if I could, I probably would go from Raya to Timber if I could, but I'm not in a position to, especially with Van Dijk in my team. So, yeah, again, those 2 are definitely essentials. There's no one else I'd say from Arsenal that you've got to have.
No,
I
and
think
even with Raya, like, Raya is good, but he's only gonna get you 6 points, isn't he? Realistically, I think he got 7 at the weekend. But again, it's still 6 points you wouldn't be getting. But the thing with Timber, he's just got that added, like, goal, and I know he's not going to get a goal and assist every game with that clean sheet, but taking that 6-pointer up to a 13-pointer is so big, isn't it? Especially when you're up against someone who doesn't have him in our head-to-head league. Like, again, a bit like Ben did with O'Reilly at the start, in that little period where he did really well. I've only kept him because I can't get rid of him, and it's actually benefited me, but I can't take him out now. He's doing so well.
yeah,
Um,
I don't. Why would you?
Why would you? Absolutely. Right, moving on. Bruno. Won't touch too much about Bruno, but United versus Villa at the weekend. Villa have only won 1 of their last 6 in the Premier League and United have won their last 4 home games in a row. So Bruno Fernandes, again, I'd say the only one who's essential in the United team. Like, he's now 10.1 mil, 41% owned, scored 21 points in his last 2 games with a goal and 2 assists. He now has 7 goals and 14 assists this season. He's at the centre of everything for United. Corners, free kicks, penalties. Second in total shots for United this year with 59, averaging over 2 shots a game. And they've got Villa at home, Bournemouth away, Leeds at home in their next 3. Again, looking at his ownership, 41%. Like, how are people not
How?
jumping on Bruno?
Maybe it's because he's now 10 mil. I think I got him in when he was 9.
Yeah, same, I
'Cause
think.
that 10 mil from 9 to 10 mil is quite a big jump.
Oh, huge
And
jump. He's now a proper premium. But it was interesting. I don't know if you listened to that Ben Foster podcast, but last week they were talking about Ben Tozer, who's an Arsenal fan, was saying that Odegaard, Ben Foster was like, Bruno Fernandes would 100% get in that Arsenal team. And Ben Tozer was like, no, Odegaard's better than him. Just insane,
wait,
isn't it?
what?
Bruno Fernandes would walk into any Prem team currently, wouldn't he?
Yeah, and he's probably one of the top 5 players in the Premier League right now.
I'd say Premier League and the world right now, just for his
Well, that's
output.
bold.
His
Yeah,
output
probably. Yeah.
his numbers are
He
frightening.
could
To be
get into
honest.
any team in the world, couldn't he? Let's be honest. He'll get into any team.
Easily. It did crack
So I
me
think,
when I heard that.
yeah. So I'm just checking how much I bought
Yeah, how
Bruno
much did you get him in
for.
for?
Where does it say?
I don't know actually. If
Because
you go into your transfer,
it says his value right now. Yeah, I got him in at 9.5 and he's now 10.1.
yeah, I got him in at 9.6 and he's now 10.1. So like,
Poor, I've done well on some of these values
yeah,
because I had Semenyo in at 7.7 and now he's 8.3,
that's good.
and I got
That's good.
Ekatike in at 8.8 and he's now 9.1.
Making some serious coin on that, mate, to be honest.
Yeah, but am I though? Because that doesn't mean anything, does it?
No, not really. Not really. Right, couple more games to look at and players. So Brentford are at home to Wolves at the weekend. Wolves have the worst away record in the Prem this season. Played 14, won 0, drawn 4, lost 10. They've only scored 5 goals and conceded 21 for a goal difference of minus 16, only amassing 4 points. Whereas Brentford played 14, won 7, drawn 4, and only lost 3 at home, scoring 24 goals. Only 5 other teams have scored more goals at home this season than Brentford, but I've picked out 2 players. I think one is definitely essential for this run. That's Thiago. He's 7.2 mil, 35% owned now. Only scored 2 in his last 8, but scored 2 against West Ham in the FA Cup on Monday. One from the penalty spot. I think him being on pens makes him even more of a must-have for Gameweek 30. What do you think about Thiago, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I've had Thiago for a long time.
Yeah,
He infuriates me in the fact of
I know.
he goes on these barren runs for so long and then he'll pop up and score like 3 or 4, but he hasn't quite done it for me yet, if I'm honest. He's been not doing enough, realistically.
Yeah.
Plus, as I said earlier, I don't think Wolves are the walkover that we think they are anymore. I really don't think that.
Yeah.
I know their away record is poor, but I think they're a different team to the team that they were a month or so ago.
Yeah, they definitely are a different beast, especially at home. Like, I'm still not sure about their away form, but again, yeah. Brentford, they've got a nice little run, Brentford, now, and you're so right about Thiago. Whenever you take him out, he's guaranteed to get 2 or 3 goals. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I just don't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. He's essential. He's essential, I think, particularly for this game. And they've actually got, who have they got in their next? They've got quite a nice little run of fixtures. They've got, let me just see. They've got, Wolves at home, Leeds away, Everton at home, Fulham at home, up to game week 33. So 3 home games out of 4,
yeah.
which is good, I think.
Yeah, and they're quite good at home,
Newcastle,
Brentford, aren't they, generally?
yeah. Newcastle have just scored against Barca 1-0.
Oh, there we
Harvey
go.
Barnes.
Ben will be Harvey Barnes. My God, he's having a good season.
Yeah, they have been really good, to be honest. They've been really good tonight, to be fair.
But they'll be shocking on the weekend then, won't they?
That's what I'm thinking exactly. Like João Pedro is going to have an absolute field day. But
No.
the only other Brentford player I've got my eye on, he's actually in my team, is Dango Atara. So
Oh, not
he's
after that
6
pen.
mil. Yeah, I literally will get onto that. He was absolutely obscene, but he's 3.7% owned, 2 goals, 2 assists in his last 6. Third in the amount of shots for Brentford this season with 35. A shot conversion rate of 50%. But yeah, I hope he's going to be in the team still after that ridiculous Panenka penalty against West Ham. Apparently, I've heard today, I don't know if it's true, there's loads of like betting allegations around that. Apparently, there was loads of bets put on around the time
No
he took the
way.
Panenka or something like that. Yeah, I don't know if I saw it on TikTok today, so I don't know if it's actually valid, but in terms of like West Ham to win and there is an investigation going on. I don't know if that's actually true, but it wouldn't surprise me if it is true with seeing that penalty.
I hope it's not true, but it wouldn't
What do
surprise
you
me.
think about him genuinely football wise, like fantasy wise? Good shout or not essential maybe?
He's definitely I don't think he's essential, no. I don't
No.
think he's consistent enough for that. I think he's maybe a good little differential to have.
Yeah.
He's in that same bracket as people like Ndai.
Yeah.
Who else have we got in there?
Wilson probably.
Sar, who you
Yeah.
like. Well, I think Wilson's probably a
Wilson.
bit of more of a shift up then for them too, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's he's a bit more consistent. Yeah, he's a tricky one. Personally, I wouldn't lean on him. I think you can get better value from other midfielders, but
Yeah,
yeah.
no, definitely. No, you see, I think he's definitely worth a punt this week. And for those fixtures, like again,
Is that
if
because
he
you've
bags
got him?
this week, that is because I've got him, yeah.
Oh,
I'm jumping on
you're a
Dango
SAR
to
replacement
save
after
me.
SAR's double.
Sar, yeah. I watched Sar. Sar's actually got a nice little run. I know he blanks in 31, but I shouldn't have even got rid of him. What am I doing? And
Tinkering.
finally, mate, we will finish with Nottingham Forest versus Fulham. So, Elliot Anderson. So, Elliot Anderson now 5.5 million and only 7% owned. So, he's Forest's top point scorer this season with 131 points. Interestingly, he's only scored 2 goals and got 3 assists all season. He has got 44 extra points through defensive contributions this year,
I saw that
having
run he
reached the
went on.
threshold of 12 contributions in 22 out of 29 games this season. And he's also scored 11 DEFCON contributions in 4 other games. So he's pretty much guaranteeing you 4 points a game and 5 if Forest keep a clean sheet. And he's an unbelievable value for the price. And they've got excellent fixtures up to Gameweek 34 with Fulham at home, Spurs away, Villa at home, Burnley at home. Is he becoming essential, mate, for that, particularly that 5th midfielder spot?
I don't know. He's that because he only really picks up. It's rare, as you said, it's rarely gets a goal or assist. I had him in my team for so long, and it just infuriated me because I just saw him picking up DEFCON every week, but he was always on my bench because I had stronger midfield
Yeah.
options in terms of goal scorers and assists.
It's tough, isn't it? The only good thing about it as well, like sometimes when it's quite a tight game and he gets DEFCON, he often gets bonus from that as well. So he'll
Yeah, that's
often turn a
true.
5-pointer into a 7-pointer. And obviously, like at the weekend against City, that was obviously then extended again with that goal to make it 12 points because he got DEFCON again against City as well. So that's the only thing. Like I'll just go through his last few games. So he's got 12 points against City, only got 1 against Brighton. Then he's gone 5-5-4, 7-5-5-7,
Yeah, he's going to get
4-4.
those 5s. He must be averaging about 5, I was going to say.
I'd say
I think
he
that's
is.
easy
So what is it?
points, isn't it? If he carries on in
Yeah,
that
exactly.
vein of form, I think it's easy
So he's
points.
averaging. Let me just work it out. He's averaging pretty much 4.5, 5 points a game all season, which actually is decent enough. If he pops up with the old goal or assist, like he was on penalties at one point this year as well, wasn't he?
Mm.
Like I wouldn't
And
be
he plays
buying
every
him
game, doesn't
necessarily.
he? He plays
He
every
does
game.
literally 90 every game, guaranteed 90. The fixtures are good. Like I
Now you're
wouldn't
making
mind
me
looking at
think,
him.
shall I get him back in my team?
Especially, I think it's tough. It's tough when you haven't. But like, if you're doing a wild card, I think if you're going into blank game week 31, like deading your team, coming out with a wild card, I think he's a great shout to even like a fourth midfielder. Like he doesn't necessarily have to be your fifth midfielder. Like a lot of people I've seen, even in our league, are playing him in their midfield four. They're doing 3-4-3, and Anderson's playing over someone else, which was interesting to see.
Mm.
But yeah, mate. So we'll finish up there. Essential
Lovely
players. I hope
job.
that's made people have a little think. Obviously, fixtures are very kind to those players this week. There's a lot of home games in there. Again, but I've picked them on fixtures as well as form as well. So hopefully they will come good for the majority of managers, mate. But yeah.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
There we go.
Spurs,
And
I
we'll
think
be back.
Spurs have scored. It's 5-2.
Have they? 5-2, have they? Jeepers. 5-2, Newcastle 1-0, Bayern 6-1. And obviously Liverpool lost earlier 1-0 to Galatasaray. And yeah, Spurs are losing 5-2 to Atletico Madrid. So they're gone. Atalanta gone. Newcastle having an absolute worldy night at St
Got
James's
to go
Park.
to the
Fair
Camp
play.
Nou, though, haven't they?
Go to the Camp Nou, shut up shot, 7 at the back. Keep
Gordon
it tight,
penalty.
Gordon penalty. Cheers. Interesting, he didn't start tonight. Actually, that Asuna looks pretty good, to be honest. I think.
Yeah, but they're so short, aren't they? For a team with
Yeah.
so much money, they don't have much of a squad.
No. Right,
Great.
mate.
Cheers, mate. We'll be back
Cheers,
as
mate.
normal on our usual Friday episode with Ben, I believe.
Yeah, a lot to talk about actually. I think regarding Spurs. I think Spurs will be quite a hot topic for us to talk about on Friday, just to pick apart that for all the Spurs fans out there. But yeah, mate. Do you want to do the honours?
Yep. May the fantasy gods be with you. Cheers, mate.
See you Friday. Cheers, mate. See you Friday.
It's the Sonny and Shah Fantasy League.
And even though Son has left for the MLS,
our head-to-head league is still the best. Hosted by
Alex,
Ben,
CJ,
ABC.
easy as 1, 2, 3.
it's another fantasy podcast.
Oh, fuck me.